Hello YouTube. I have the AGT LRT23 with the Rado 739cc V-twin. When I got this thing, I've only got half an hour on it so far. And first thing I did was do an oil and filter change. And I discovered something important. One of the recommendations that I found on some of the forums was to use a Fram oil filter. And I'll put a little picture up of that Fram filter. And I'll show you what problem I had with that, because that is not the right filter to use for these. So what I have here is a replacement filter. The reason I went with a filter from Napa, I cross-referenced it and looked at it, is that this Napa one is the right size, seal fits and everything, threads fit, but it's concave. And this is really key because the Fram one that was recommended is convex, which means it bows out instead of bows in. And that's critical because down there where you screw the filter on, the threaded connector has a flange at the bottom of it that contacts the convex part of the oil filter and doesn't allow the filter to seal properly. So I had oil leaking out of it and pulled that filter off, replaced it with this one, which has again that concave feature, and that allows the filter seal to mount or to seal against the filter housing mount. And without that, with the convex one, what happens is the convex part of that Fram filter hits that flange first and doesn't allow that filter seal to seal against its mount, causing oil to leak out. So this Napa brand, well actually it's not Napa, sorry, it's Toro. So I got this Toro one from the local tractor supply place here in Alberta. And this is for the V-twin engine oil, or V-twin engine, which is, you know, like the Vanguards. It's the same mount, everything's the same, works great. No problem at all. You can also see down there that I installed a remote filter, or pardon me, a remote oil drain tube, which is absolutely invaluable. There's no way to get the oil out of the block when you're doing an oil change without oil getting everywhere. So before I put that on with the oil that was in the engine, what I did was is I siphoned almost all the engine oil out. Painstaking process because I don't have an oil evacuator. I just had a big syringe. So I sucked all the oil out I could, and then I got that oil drain tube ready. I undid the plug at the bottom of the block, and I quickly got that in place, and I lost maybe an ounce of oil. But that oil drain tube, which is a M12 by ½ inch, I think, and that is a absolute lifesaver for oil changes. And you can see it down here just coming out the back of the engine, where it's easy to catch the oil with a container at the bottom if you want. Oil changes are super easy now. So that's my recommendation, is for these Rado 739cc 740s, or whatever you want to call them. I think another engine is also compatible, but this Toro V-twin engine oil filter is the one you want. It works really well. It seals perfectly. I ran it today for half an hour doing a little bit of work around the acreage, and I had zero problems, zero leaks, and that was a big benefit. So future maintenance, oil changes, oil and filter changes will be super easy. I'm going to run this thing for 5 or 10 hours and then do an oil and filter change and check the condition of the oil in this brand new engine. This thing only has half an hour on it, so I haven't really put it through its paces yet, but hopefully. So 0.7 hours is what I've got on it right now. I had a, what was it called? I can't remember what it was called. The MPS 330 before. And I've switched to this AGT Industrial LR23. Got it a super good deal. That's 3,500 Canadian. I don't know how the Chinese do it for this price, to be honest. We certainly couldn't do that for this price here. This machine's been great. Got a little fold down step here with little dampers, so it folds up and locks into place like so. Like I said, I haven't driven this one very much. I find that just like my last MPS 330, I was able to, operate the tilt cylinder to keep your bucket aligned with, cutting or snow plowing or whatever while you're driving. You can't operate the boom while you're driving because this is only a two-stage pump. One side for one set of tracks plus one boom feature and another pump for the other set of tracks and the tilt feature. But it seems adequate. If you look at these things as a back saver instead of a brand name full size, or pardon me, brand name skid steer, mini skid steer, these things are more than adequate. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to run it for a little bit, and then I'm going to do a hydraulic fluid change. There's a hydraulic sight gauge with temperature inside. There's the tank for the hydraulics there, and I got it myself a 5-gallon pail. I'll run it for a little bit. I'll evacuate that oil, that Chinese hydraulic oil. We're not sure of the quality of it, so it's not a good idea to trust it. You should replace it with a brand name North American supplied hydraulic oil. But I'll get that done in the next 5 hours just to make sure that I'm running clean oil through the hydraulic system. So far, no leaks on any of the control systems, no the control tubing or anything like that. The machine seems to be well laid out. Unlike the last machine, I actually have a hydraulic oil cooler, which I didn't have on the other one, which, the other one I could run for about an hour at 25 degrees Celsius, on a fall day, late summer day. An hour to an hour and a half before I found the temperatures getting a little high. And I'd shut it down for about 30 or 40 minutes. You don't want to stand on these things too long anyways. And then fire it up again, run it for another 45 minutes before I felt the temperature was getting a little high. This one, we'll try it out next summer once I'm done moving snow this winter and see how it holds up in the warmer temperatures. But I'm not really working this machine too hard. I just got some stuff to do around the acreage. A little snow moving in the winter. But for the price, I'll be damned. I don't think you can beat it any other way. $3,500 Canadian. For my American friends, you can work that out to what you pay for that down the States to get one of these. I got it at auction. Quite pleased with the price. It's got the flat tracks, not the triangular tracks there like I had on the MPS 330, the Mach Pro. So we'll see how this goes. I had no problems with those other tracks. I don't think it really makes a difference, to be honest. I never threw a track on that last MPS 330, and we'll see how this set does. Tracks are fairly tight. I don't know whether I should loosen them or not. I'm just going to let it fly like this because I never loosened the MPS 330's tracks either. They were fairly tight. I never threw a track. I only had it for 35 hours, and it did very well. So we'll see how this one does. This one looks like it might be able to withstand rocks a little bit better than the other one because it had a smaller idlers on the bottom there, and it had the top drive. This one has quite big wheels on both the front and the back, so it might be able to handle gravel. Nonetheless, on all these Chinese mini skids, when you're working on gravel or in rocky conditions, you should be doing gentle turns, and that allows enough time for bigger rocks to get kind of hucked off the tracks before they manage to find themselves into the sprockets, right? If you can keep them out of the sprockets, you won't have any problem. If you're doing tight turns on gravel or in rocky terrain, you're going to introduce rocks into the sprockets, and then they have a hard time making it through there. And you'll hear a popping and a cracking, and you'll be breaking rocks into powder, and that can't be good for the tracks. So anyways, And then I also fabricated a snowplow for this thing, which I have in another video. I just took an ATV snowplow, butchered it, got a custom, a ready-made attachment plate for the thing, and then fabricated / butchered it into what looks like a really nice little snowplow with a swivel feature and a float feature. So no hydraulic control. I just simply don't need it because you can hop off the back flat platform here and walk around to the front, swivel your blade, hop back on there, and continue on. A lot easier than getting in and out of an enclosed skid steer. So anyways, that's my thoughts on this machine so far. The hydraulic system, cooler, and the oil filter change with drain hose. So any questions or comments, just go ahead and post them in there. I'll answer your questions. And I'll be adding to this as I use this machine over the winter to plow snow. And then again in the spring when I get into some dirt work and doing gravel and whatnot. But cheers.